it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching IAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today. I am in Newport Beach, and I'm just outside the Galley Cafe on the canal. I'm gonna walk through the boats and the marine area. I love this area. It's just really peaceful, but a lot of fun memories of this place, and there's so much to cover. I mean, there's a ton in this video. Remember, everything in the videos, guys, I usually attach a news story below, and we're coming up with a new link so that you guys are going to be able to get access to these news stories. If you are watching on a TV or you don't have the ability to do that, we're going to have a way of doing this for you in the coming weeks. The economy is in shambles, guys. Let's face it. And now the Fed wants to rename the word recession. So you can't make this stuff up, guys. It's insane. So before I get into it, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget that we have an email list. One went out late last week, and if you're on the list, check your spam filter. And if you want more exclusive content, there's Patreon, guys. You can sign up for the Patreon link below. Now, first things first. Think about this. Things aren't bad right now. And we're going to start with Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen steps forward and says that things aren't the way that they appear. And we may be in a technical recession, but it's not really a recession. So I want the IAllegedly audience to rename the word recession. What are we in, guys? What is this? If we're not in a recession, what is this? Because I think this is a depression that has just started to unfold. And I'm going to cover some things in this video that are going to give you guys an idea of how serious this is. And we all need to look at this, okay? So the Fed's meeting starts today, and they're going to sit down, and the stock market's basically, on pins and needles, and they're going to issue their rate increase. Now, do you think that there's any possibility that they will not raise rates? No. Do you think that they would do it a quarter of a point, half a point, 3/4 of a point? They should just go balls to the wall and just go 2 points, and do something that's gonna fix something. They won't do that. They may go 3/4 of a point. We'll see. So, first things first. I've talked to a lot of people that are retired on my channel, and I spoke with the Economic Ninja today, and a very smart guy, and I really like Travis. Good guy. He is really familiar with public pensions and just an expert on this, and I think he should talk more about this himself because he just knows so much more about it than I do, and I got a lot of knowledge from this guy. But CalPERS just lost billions of dollars, guys, like $69 billion for this year. That's the California pension fund that runs the state of California. Now, here's the thing. I think it was late January or February, I started to cover how CalPERS had a board meeting, and they wanted to do more risky investment. That's the only way that we're going to be able to make money right now. Now think about this. They didn't make money. They lost $69 billion, okay? Insane, guys. Absolutely insane. But here's the thing. If you are a public employee and you've been with the system longer, you get a larger payout than the people that are newer to the program. So there's the potential that the people that are involved in this at this late date, if you started saving for retirement right now, that you would get nothing, that you would get absolutely zero, but they're taking this money out and they're squandering it, and completely irresponsible, completely terrible the way that they're handling this and mismanaging this money. So again, all these risky investments are not paying off. Here's the thing. We had a huge stock market run, and these guys lost money during that time. So this is the beginning of the end, guys, for them. Now, basically, 1 in 3 elderly people do not have the money to live right now, to live comfortably and to pay their bills and to make ends meet. That is disgusting when you hear about that. And again, I get people that write me and say, oh, this is, the results of their bad choices. Let me tell you something. There is a woman, Fran Glover, who runs Joseph Dream House, which is the charity that we supported a ton of, that they provide meals for families. The families cook the meals. They just put together the food. She had over 100 people that month after month donated to Fran. 40 of those people are now accepting food donations from her. So much so that she had to turn people away right now. That's awful, guys. Now, are these people bad people? No, they lost their jobs. Not drug addicts, they're not degenerates, they're not bad people. These people just ran on rough times. And again, this is the beginning of the rough times. People think that there's a great article below about how we're going to see 2 little recessions and then it's going to stop. Well, wait a second, guys. The Fed just said that. Are we going to have a recession or are we not going to have a recession? This is so bad compared to what a regular recession is right now. Because think about this. Fran Glover told me this, and we're going to talk about this a lot more in August. September is Hunger Awareness Month. How wrong is that? We have a month for hunger awareness for people that cannot eat and feed themselves. And during the health crisis, one thing that we saw was a lot of these students in smaller rural towns and LA and certain minority communities where the kids don't get a regular meal every day. So they go to school, and with school, they're fed lunches. Some of these places ran out of food, couldn't get food deliveries, so these kids didn't eat. And that's horrible. You know, it's not their fault, okay? You can blame their parents, you can do whatever you want, but we don't need people living this way because it creates a problem, it creates anarchy, it creates crime, it creates serious issues with this. So, with the price of used cars going through the roof, they had more and more unscrupulous lenders go out and lend people money at ridiculous interest rates and very high payments. Repos are at an all-time high again. They're repossessing cars like they never have in years, and we're seeing this more and more. When do you sit there and draw the line and say, this is too much, guys? That's just awful. Walmart, whether you love them or hate them, I don't care. But here's what's interesting. Their sales are plunging because people are not buying stuff. They're buying the necessities. They're buying the bare necessities to get by. So their inventories are growing huge, but they're also going to take something out of the Target playbook, which is to have vendors hold things longer. The liquidation of these Target and to liquidate merchandise like Target talked about and Walmart talked about. It'll be interesting to see if they do this because nobody has any money to buy anything like this. So that's very interesting. The stock after hours yesterday was dropping over 10% in after hours trading because they missed their numbers and because they're going to have nothing but problems. Now, flash forward, we talked about AT&T. AT&T had the same problems because people cannot afford to pay their phone bills. Wow, guys. Wow. With the energy crisis, with Russia and what they're doing, they've got a pipeline that pumps natural gas to places like Germany. One thing that Vladdy did last couple weeks ago was they brought the gas pipeline down for maintenance. Okay? Great. So they did that for maintenance, and the idea with this was that it was, it got everybody on pins and needles. Is he going to reopen it? Well, he reopened it, and now it's at 40%. No, it's not. It's at 20%. I want you to think about this. People in Germany are going to freeze to death. Think about this. 3 times the amount of people freeze to death over heat exhaustion. Now, global warming, Dan. Okay, great. But it's a bigger problem with the fact that more people are going to freeze to death in winter. And again, winter comes very quickly, especially to places like Germany. So we're going to see these problems, get exacerbated over the course of the next few months, and no one is going to be able to do anything about this. So get ready, okay? I had one guy said that he's invested in firewood, and I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of a kookaburra type situation. Then I started reading what he was talking about. It's kind of a good idea. Plus, he's selling the crap out of it too. So, what we're living through is such different times right now, and to sit there and act like everything is okay in business, I'm very lucky. Okay, I've saved money, I've paid things off, I've gotten rid of things I don't need. In fact, it's still we're gonna sell things I don't need and more stuff, and just to get rid of it, to be an absolute minimalist in my life, because the more I think about this, I just don't need some of this stuff. And you should do the same thing. And again, the record is the people in Hungary that sold $5,400 worth of stuff. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. one thing that we've heard a lot about is the Great Resignation and how we have the best employment that we've had in decades, which is a lie. But I found a great article about why people are quitting their jobs, and this makes a lot of sense. I had a job that I got fired from about 30 years ago, and I didn't like the way I got fired, and I always vowed if I ever got fired again, I would do it differently, and I have done it differently since then. Okay, there's been a couple times when I've been let go for working for someone, and I did it in my own damn style, and it's great. So if you guys want to share stories about that, that's great. The last time I was let go was I had a boss who was an imbecile, and she would not listen to anybody. She knew I know everything about this industry. There's nothing you could tell me new. There's no changes we could make. Your marketing expertise doesn't mean a thing if you just need to follow my instructions. Okay. And about 2 months into it, I thought, okay, I'm done here. And when I left, 2 things I did which was so satisfying. Number 1 was, hey, you need to send us the computer back. And I cleared the computer of everything except for one article about how people leave jobs because of horrible people, and their management are horrible. And it was the only article on this computer, so everything she opened went to that article. It was very sad. It's very satisfying, to say the least. But I also went to FedEx on a Saturday and shipped their computer back to the tune of $450 to ship something. You really want to pay for this? I'm not paying for anything. So that felt good too, guys. Wow, Dan, that's really petty. It was so petty. It was great. And I haven't looked back since. So share your thoughts on that stuff. But listen to this. Here's the reasons people leave, okay? Lack of career development or advancement. That's the main reason. Inadequate compensation. People aren't paid enough. Uncaring, uninspiring leaders. Ding, 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 ding. Okay? Lack of meaningful work. Again, hey, John, how do you like your job? Hey, John, what do you think we could do better here? People don't have those meetings anymore because the peons are not important to ask questions like that. Unsustainable work expectations. I love when people put demands on people that are so big that they can't possibly live up to these standards. Unreliable and unsupportive colleagues. Lack of workplace flexibility. And the final one was lack of support for your health and well-being. That's why people quit jobs today. And that's pretty good. But that article's below. You guys can take a look at this. People need to feel wanted. People need to feel appreciated, accepted, and again, be nice to everybody. Please understand this, guys. People are going through such a difficult time, and you have no idea what the person next to you at the stoplight is going through. And you've got to help people right now. You've got to be kind to people, and you're going to see more and more people. You're going to see more and more people living on the streets right now. This thing that they did here in Southern California, where they raised the rents through the roof and won't teach these people, is going to backfire, because eventually you're going to have people just go, we can't live here. We're going to move. We're going to move someplace else. Now, will they move to Texas or will they move someplace else? No, they're going to move in with their parents. And again, 30% of all Gen Zers, that's people born in the late 90s, early 2000s, still live with mom and dad. It's a staggering statistic when you think about that. Because again, all I wanted to do was get out of my house. Love my mom, okay? And we had a good relationship, but I wanted life, okay? And these kids today don't want life at all. So the Fed is going to play games with us right now like we've never seen them before. The stock market is completely unrealistic. And, I watch Greg Manarino a lot and listen to what he has to say. And I really think the guy's spot on right now, because he talks about how this is just not real. Nothing is real right now. But you're seeing this charade and this show and all the bond buying, and we're supposed to act like this is all normal and okay. This is going to be a bigger crash than 2008. There's a man named Jose Torres. Who's Jose Torres? Well, great article below. Jose Torres called the 2008 housing crisis. And he said this time it's going to be worse than 2008 because we've had Prices still go up 18% this year since January. We've seen housing starts go up 50%, and you see a rash of houses that will not be completed right now. There's so much inventory when it comes to houses that will not get done, and what are they going to do with these things? What are they going to do with the uncompleted houses that are out there right now? Nobody wants to talk about that, but eventually this is going to get, it's going to catch up with us. Now, this neighborhood, okay, is not going to be affected. This neighborhood, you're going to get deals every now and then and things like that, but it's the houses that were $200,000 that are now $450,000. Those are the people that have real problems on their hands. The people that bought those houses in those communities that are waiting for them to be completed, those people are upside down and they are doomed. And the difference is when you hear these staggering figures, like a guy on yesterday's video that was talking about how he wanted to have a house payment of like $1,800, and then it turned out to be $2,900, and he's like, I can't afford that. Well, that's what you're going to see more and more of. You're going to see more and more people that cannot afford these house payments. And again, guys, everybody talks about the house and the house payment. What about the taxes? What about your homeowner's insurance? What about plumbing and the yard work? And I'll do all that myself, Dan. I don't need to pay some guy to do that. Okay, that's great. Things cost money. Light bulbs cost money. Things you don't have to pay for when you rent cost money. The water bill, everything. Electricity, heating, all that stuff. It's stuff that people just don't want to worry about and think about right now. And this is creating nothing but problems for people because they're not budgeting for this stuff, but they got to get into a house. I'm still getting people send me sales from around the country that are $100,000 over asking price. And the people that sold the house don't sit there and say, wow, aren't we lucky? They're like, wow, these people are the stupidest people I've ever met, Dan, to pay me this. So they don't sit there and look at this as a huge windfall like they've, wow, this is where things are going. And I had one man write me, and I want to cover this real quick because he did something really smart as far as his retirement. Now, Dave is clearly successful, and he sold his rental properties, paid off all his bills, resists spending extra money, and just laid out his plan of how he's been ready for the financial downturn for 7 years, okay? So nobody wants to hear about that, but the most interesting thing that Dave talked about was Dave does consulting work, where just to get out of the house and make a little extra money, he makes a couple $100 a month doing financial consulting. That's great. What do you guys know about? Seriously, what's your expertise that you can make some money on? That's what Dave's doing. And again, Dave's retired. Dave doesn't need to worry. Dave doesn't need the money. Dave's doing it to help people and to make a little extra scratch. My brother loves golf, so much so that he tapes the golf tournaments and watches it like a madman. And I love the guy, but you're not allowed to call him. When you call him on like Sunday, and don't tell me about the golf. Like I don't watch golf, David, so I don't, no big deal. But my brother, for 25 years, has been trying to win tickets to the Masters golf tournament in April. He finally won tickets to the practice round, and it's next April. It's the par 3 tournament, and he invited me, which is cool. And it's the only thing in the golf tournament that you can bring a camera on. So you guys are going to get to see me on Augusta next April and the par 3 tournament. Now, if anybody has ever been to the Masters and you can offer any suggestions, I would really appreciate that, because we're going to go and I want to do this right for my brother, and I want to make sure that it's all set up in advance. We get the right hotel. I have no idea. I've never been to Georgia, and would love to get your input. So if anybody's ever been there, let me know, but I'm going to be there then too. And if we can get more days, we're going to try to get more days and more tournaments and stuff for him so he can see more. Now, that leads to the PGA is the Professional Golfers Association. There is a Saudi Arabian company called LIV Golf, and this place set up a golf tournaments, and paid people staggering amounts of money. Phil Mickelson, $150 million. Justin, whatever his name is, that guy got 200 million. I mean, it's crazy money, but it's unbelievable. Now, people in the PGA are saying this is terrible, that people are selling this out. Well, the PGA has been a monopoly forever, guys. It really has. And there's a lot of things that they've done for golfers. And this, I think the competition's good myself. People are going to freak out when they hear that. But the thing that's funny is Charles Barkley does color commentary for basketball and for golf. And he plays golf a lot. Well, they want Charles Barkley on there. And Charles Barkley said, listen, if you pay me 3 times my salary, I'll consider doing it. Well, the number is $60 million. If Charles Barkley got paid $60 million, he should go do this because he could work for a year and never have to work again. So what do you guys think about this? Because I think it's insane. The amount of money that they're paying these people to play exclusively is absolutely nuts. They treated Phil Mickelson terribly. Share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. But also, if you know anything about the Masters or Augusta or anything like that you can add, I would love to hear it. Email me, send me messages, guys. Okay, let me know. Also, I have a great Charles Barkley story when he played, and in 1993 when the Phoenix Suns were playing the Lakers, and the Lakers were terrible, and the Lakers went up 2-0. The forum where they played basketball out, you could go down and you could literally stand there and you could lean across the metal barricade like this and touch the players. I have a great Charles Barkley story that's not safe for YouTube, where I asked him a question and he gave me a very, very dirty answer, and it's great. So someday I'll get to share that with you guys. Okay? Share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. When you hear about financial problems, who's getting squeezed the most right now? This is going to shock you. It's not the poor, it's the upper middle class. These people went out and borrowed to the hilt and have overextended themselves thinking that the gravy train was going to continue, and it's not. And these are the people that are going to start unloading all of their assets very shortly. Now, great article out of the Wall Street Journal where one man in Texas went out and bought apartments, fourplexes, and a brand new house, and now he's strapped and can't afford to live. So this guy's looking at ways to get rid of all this, and you're going to see more and more people do this on a regular basis right now. The housing interactive, I love interactive housing charts that show things like what could go down, what could go up in price. There's a great one out of Yahoo Finance about real estate prices and where the likelihood of different properties are going to be. Take a look at that. The link is below, and it's a pretty cool one because it shows the likelihood of different communities and what could go up and what could go down. Now, one thing that sickens me is that, you guys hear about BlackRock and how, the thing that's different between now and 2008 was that BlackRock and those, investment banks, okay, we're not buying properties like they were today. So that's happening now. And they're saying that they're going to buy $50 billion of property. Now, one thing that is absolutely mind-numbing is hedge funds are going out and buying mobile home parks. And all they're doing is neglecting the mobile home parks, raising the rents, and not doing any repairs or maintenance on the mobile home park. Now, the average person that lives in a mobile home is retired, disabled, not affluent, to say the least. Yeah, you got some that are, but majority are not. So with that being said, great article below about how terrible these people are being treated. And they go in there, and here's the thing that you don't understand. You buy the mobile home, you have the asset, they put it on the ground, then you have to pay rent, space rent. And they're just doubling the rent. They're raising the rents, and you can't afford it, move. Take the mobile home with you. And people can't do that. So they're getting foreclosed on, they're leaving units there, and it's absolutely awful because the story that was included about how they're not doing maintenance, they're not doing water, they're not doing anything to clean the parks up right now, but they're just jacking up the rents. And the people that they interviewed, it was horrible because they're on fixed income. One guy's disabled, he's got $1,000, and now he spends more on his rent than he's going to get in disability. How you do that math, I have no idea. But again, this is the shape of things to come. And compassion, have a little compassion for people, because I'm telling you, there's hell. If you believe in hell, okay, there's hell for people like this that do this to people and throw them out when they're vulnerable. I really believe that. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. You know, I don't have a lot of, you know, I don't feel bad for people that overextended themselves, that were wealthy. This guy that bought, you know, an 8-unit apartment complex, a 4-plex, 2 houses, you know, that guy living high on the hog, and now he can't live high on the hog. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys, because this is crazy. Oh, by the way, this is right next to Balboa Island, and this is in the flight path. Isn't that nice? So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. First things first, I love Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. But there's an article below that he says if you're over 45 years old and you have a mortgage, you've done something wrong. Okay, that's insane. Okay, I love Mr. Wonderful, but I think that one's nuts. Now, in the Southwest, farmers are selling cattle at record paces right now because of the drought. They cannot get enough water to feed the cattle, so they're unloading the cattle. Now, for those of you new to the channel, milk comes from cows. Beef comes from cows. And if you think prices are not going to go up now, they're going to go through the roof and be absolutely, utterly ballistic. That's going to happen. We have nothing but problems with Lake Mead and the Colorado River here, and it's only going to get worse, to say the least. Now, the next thing is this. Think about how insane this is. Gas prices shot up as high as $6.50, $7. You saw $9 and $10 in some spots. The average gas price right now per gallon is $4.35. Mexico says, come on down. Come to Mexico and fill your tank. It's $3.13 a gallon. That's insane, guys. That is absolutely insane that we're going to Mexico to fill our tank. And the Mexican president said in front of Joe Biden that people should go do that. So they're taking him up on that. The final thing is Michael Burry. And this goes to the theme of the video, which is the grim reality of where we're at. And the grim reality of where we're at right now is that, you know, Michael Burry's livid that the administration wants to change the term for a recession. And just in simple terms, it's 2 quarters of down GDP. Mexico experienced this with their last 2 quarters, and we're going to experience it with our last quarter. But guys, we're in a recession. And Michael Burry from The Big Short, played by Christian Bale, great movie, great guy. You know, this guy is on top of it, but he's really furious right now about this. And read the article, and he's talking about how bad it is that they're trying to hide the grim reality that we're all living through. So don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this with everybody. Please comment on the video, and I will do everything I can to write you back. Plus, join the email list, and if you want more exclusive content, there is Patreon. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.